Well, welcome everybody. Let's see. Approval of agenda. Take a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. To the agenda, any changes? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Motion to approve the minutes of June 9th meeting.
I so move.
I'll second it.
Second. Have a motion and a second. For minutes of June 9th. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Move on to the treasurer's report, Kevin.
June 1st, we had 343,054 in the checking account. It's not, during collections, most of them were, with interest on them and stuff in there, but our total receipts was 22,322. As you can look, there, isn't very much in there. We had entrances income of 1,071, and that was in the developmental savings, which that's just pretty good and stuff in there. Expenditures, we had 73,156. Most of that was all road materials, which was basically gravel and stuff when they're doing dust control. We didn't get the dust control bill until July, so that isn't on here. But that's the gravel portion in there, and then you can see the payroll is the next highest at 16,588 with all going on with the grading and the dust control. That's why that's high. Otherwise, everything else is pretty routine, pretty easy. So the end of the 30th of June. We ended at 291,161 in the checking account, which is good because you'll see that the dust control is in this month's bill, and we have plenty in the checking account to cover it. So unless there's any other questions, you can look at it. We're supposed to be 50% by the end of June. And we're definitely there. A lot of people pay their taxes early, so this is kind of paid both halves right away. So this is pretty normal and stuff. Everything is looking good, and everything is looking pretty good on budget and stuff in there, type of deal. So unless there's any other questions, that's all I have to talk about a little bit.
Get a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I so move.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Move on to old business, 267th Street project closeout.
Want me to talk?
Yeah.
All right, that project's been completed. Trent Bruce with DGR Engineering. Project's been completed. The work is all wrapped up. Ongoing conversations, but the punch list stuff's been taken care of. The paperwork that's necessary to close the project out has all been put together. We've actually received all the waivers and release of liens from his subcontractors, but he hasn't signed the documents yet. He's not real familiar with email processes, so we're waiting for him to stop by, Tom to stop by and sign it. And he said he's going to do that this week. He's got a project that's ongoing in Pierre, so that's kept him away from the area here lately. But so we expect him to stop by in the next day or two, sign these documents. What we're recommending is that you approve all of these final documents contingent upon his final signature on each. And once we get those, then it'll essentially be approved and we can pass along the payment.
Yep.
Certainly available to answer any questions on that if you have any, or otherwise, would recommend approval as just noted.
So I would think it'd be a motion to approve the final pay application and pay a contingent upon the signing by him,
Okay, I need a motion to
what she said.
I would motion,
Final payoff.
I would motion to complete the paperwork contingent upon signature as presented.
I second.
Yeah, and I think you meant, and the paperwork and to have the final pay, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
final
Yeah.
pay. Thank you.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion carried.
So Marv, if you would sign those documents, I'll take them back, and then once you get them signed, I'll get you a final version of that, and then that can all get submitted to the county for
Yeah.
reimbursement.
Rich was the
It is-
chairman when we started. Do you want him to sign?
I think it would be whoever's the current chairman would be
chairman.
appropriate,
Yep.
so.
It's all yours.
All right. We're the owner?
Yes, yep.
Yes.
Marv, if you just sign one of them, one set, you keep the other one for your files, I'll get
Okay.
you a copy of that works. Unless you,
You can
One.
give them a copy of the check, too, they were giving them a check. See it done.
I don't need an attest on that, so. That one.
See if that's right.
That it is. Good. One right here is what you know.
Okay.
One for dirt specialties. Is that it, Kevin?
Yeah.
And I'll need a test on that one, so. You can sign that one, Rich, right there where it says attest. Perfect, and then if you could just put your name and date right there, well. Good.
Well, thank you, that was a good project to get done.
Yeah, it was. Tom does good work at his pace.
Yeah, at his base, but,
He gets it done though.
Yeah.
so you get,
Keep the bottom,
Yeah.
Kevin?
what?
You keep the bottom?
Bottom, yeah, he just gets to check it, so.
That works, thank you.
Okay, I think we're finished with that project.
Yeah, went off the agenda.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a,
Get on our own.
Yeah.
Move on to Kim Circle. Like Rich has been working with the engineer.
engineers. Kevin, we're trying to figure out, we're going back to the old way, when we were going to have so drained all the way out, but it's got too expensive to do that. So we're going back to the old way, just clear out the area where pond's at. Right, that's what, you just want
Yep.
to tell them what we talked about.
Yeah, so, there's a couple of copies up there for you guys, so you can pass around with this 5 or 6 copies there. I'll use this as kind of just a quick demonstration, but this is the Dean property here. Then it drains back out to the south towards the highway. But the Kim Circle property ends here, and at that property line, the adjacent property owners, we needed to go talk to them and talk about if we could improve the drainage. They were receptive to it all, but it was just gonna get really expensive the way that they asked us to proceed with that. So ultimately, we came back to the original design, which is replace the culvert on the Dean property and improve the drainage there so that it was more mobile slopes. Fix the drainage at the crossing of the Kim Circle loop, and then clear out the drainage on the south end of that. Again, that's where we were last fall, pending some conversation with those downstream property owners. After talking through them, with them a little bit, it was just gonna get too expensive to facilitate their desires on their property. So that left us with going back to a set of plans that are ready. I did send you those, so you have them on at your email. This is the short version of it, which is just the pictorial version of the proposed improvements, but there's a bunch of project notes and everything else that would get submitted. If you guys are receptive to this plan, the total cost would run you about $50,000 to $60,000. We anticipate estimated project cost for the construction. The cost estimate's broken out there. That's what it would cost to do all of this work. The timeline that we have set would allow for this to get done this fall yet. So we would open bids just before your next meeting, present to you a recommendation to move forward with the project as planned if we got good bids, and then you would be able to proceed with the construction this fall. Obviously, if you didn't get good bids or you want to do something differently, we could postpone that. Like I mentioned, that we expect the bids to be in that $50,000 to $60,000 range.
So the residents are clear, it's the 50 to 60,000 construction cost plus another 31 for engineering costs for a total project cost of about $90,000.
Yes, yep, total project cost would be about $90,000. That'd be your legal, admin, testing, engineering, and the construction costs, right? So the total all-in cost on this project is about $90,000.
And legal, I mean, I'm not involved in any way, right? So I'm not sure what that is for.
Well, you just whatever, if there was any fees, or sometimes the legal and admin would tie into, like, if there was something to review a contract or review a low bid or something like that. So there's nothing set there. We just always kind of incorporate a small percentage of anticipated fee or estimated fee. So obviously, if there was no legal reason for you to be involved, there's no fees associated with that, that would be zero.
So is your engineering, legal, admin still $31,000 even if I'm not involved?
That's an estimate, so yeah, that it's basically a percentage based on that. But if you don't have any costs associated with it, or there'll be some like publication costs for the admin piece of it. But yeah, so there would be nothing. We generally, the legal, admin, and testing is usually like 2% of the total project cost, so 2% of $50,000, $60,000 would be $1,200 is what we have estimated for that.
And it really involved one homeowner. I mean,
Right.
really, because they wanted a bigger driveway approach.
But I don't wanna pay $10,000 for it. Let's ixnay putting in a new culvert. Whoever goes off it, so be it, go off it. I haven't gone off it. He hasn't gone off it, been out there 26 years. I'm not paying 10 grand for a culvert. So if you wanna grade, whatever you wanna grade, up to my culvert, skip it, go to the next one, go to the two that are on the circle that are buried, and do whatever you do to those. I'm good with that. I don't want you to give me a new culvert or nothing.
So is the 10,000 in here?
It is, yeah, that's part of the estimate. So if you did not replace the culvert and you did not have to do their driveway, your total project cost would be somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000, not 50 and 60. So you'd subtract.
Because the original was, you were gonna curve it up a little bit, go through the culvert, curve back and out to the double one.
Which required some additional, which is what required the grading, which is when we, said, hey, this is bigger than just their culvert, yeah,
So that's what created
the
some of the
project.
expense.
Yeah.
Then you gotta put re-gravel and all that, so.
Yeah, I don't wanna, no. I don't wanna pay for that. I don't wanna pay $10,000 for that.
Only for 2 feet.
So I'm good. If you wanna grade whatever you wanna grade and leave my culvert alone, I'm good with that. You can-
And I don't see the $10,000 culvert in here.
Well, it's a series of the four, five, items that have an asterisk. It comes up to like $88,000 plus the 10%, or $8,800 plus 10% contingency is where the 10,000 comes from, so. There's 5 items that have an asterisk that says estimated portion of cost that would be represented by the homeowner.
So you have gravel surfacing, furnish, install, furnish, install. So,
2 flared ends, then you're gonna have,
This is the pipe itself, so there's 30 foot of pipe plus the 2 flared ends. On, one on each end.
so it's not that the culvert was $10,000, it's that,
no,
The removing and replacing of the culvert would
and then you gravel them
have to put the gravel back on, yep.
on your road.
Well, can't
Under
you just
driveway.
skip all of that and go to the circle where they're buried? and
Well, if
dig there
you don't do
and go
that,
way?
then you don't have to do anything west of that, because the only reason we were doing anything west of, or east of that was because of the changes there, so,
Yeah,
I mean, we're looking at a little bit different project then, probably closer to $35,000 or $40,000, but it'd just be a ditch grading project, cleaning that out. And I will note that the $10,000 is just an estimate. It would be 100% contingent upon your actual bid prices and whatever you have
I
to
can go
pay
to
for.
Beersford and get a 20-foot culvert for $1,700.
So you
I
need
looked
2
at
of
it
those.
today.
Yep.
But my culvert is 20 feet. But if you talking about you're digging up to it, so I said, go ahead, dig it however far you wanna dig. Dig all the way to the culvert, skip my 20 feet and dig however far you want.
Yeah, I don't know that, the reason we're digging though is just to facilitate the change in grade in your culvert, to get a better grade, to get that to flow better. So,
I think the only reason it backs up is because those 2 that are buried on the circle part, because I don't flood. My
Right.
neighbors east of me flood.
Right.
I don't.
originally it was started when you guys wanted a wider driveway, sitting back there.
Well, yeah, it
Camper
originally
in and all
started
that.
because of all the water that was
Yeah.
backed up.
But I mean, that was part of it. You wanted
Yeah.
a wider driveway. And then we talked about the culvert. We're bringing it up higher and would slope it up so it relieve the water.
That you guys could get the cost of the culvert.
With what?
You guys said that you could get it at cost the culvert,
Yeah, we can get you the.
We can still do that. That's not the issue.
but it's like filling in and putting the gravel on top of it and everything. That's the cost, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't
grading
wanna
and
pay
all
that.
that.
I was figuring around $4,000 or $5,000. I was not figuring 10 grand. I can't poop out 10 grand.
so if the work is not done, for which the county talked about, or the township talked about getting the $10,000 reimbursement, would you still have drainage that is
well, so
appropriate?
using this as the example, so this is the portion, near the Dean home. Everything to the east of their driveway is only being redone right now to facilitate the changes in the location and the grade of the culvert. So you wouldn't necessarily have to do anything east of that driveway. So you reduce all of those costs. Then here you would just grade this out and then everything south of the roadway. There is some drainage challenges there, so it would be a good project, but probably wouldn't necessarily be at the top of your list if you weren't working with this culvert replacement project. So that becomes do you want to modify the scope of the work here, make it a much smaller project? You've obviously got a lot of engineering fees into the various solutions, we were, and, you know, that's still an estimate, it's, the project's, you know, not done, so there's a large portion of that you have not spent yet, but, so you wouldn't have, you wouldn't bear all of that cost at this point if you choose to sit on it, but you know, this is the right design to facilitate the wider driveway and better drainage. If you're not gonna replace the culvert, then you would just be focused on fixing some of that drainage, and it would only be west of theirs and south of that culvert. So,
So the drainage would still be improved, just maybe not quite as much as what would happen if you
that's fair, yep.
went with
Yep.
this design.
That can be spelled out for the bids as such.
Yep,
Can you do an alternative bid where you,
Well, yes, we could.
would that cost a lot more to do an alternative bid?
It's all there, just have to break this out. We obviously have to modify the plans that have been put together for this project a little bit to get to that point, but not a lot, no.
So does that make sense to bid it out without replacing the culvert and doing the grade work as A and bid it out for option B with replacing it?
Just adding the, yeah, or we could just bid it like it is, cause it's all unit prices, and subtract out what we wouldn't do if we don't have to replace the culvert. At that point, though, you're getting, you don't want to mislead the contractors in what they're bidding on it. I think they're getting a $50,000 project and it's only a $35,000 project.
Right, so that's why I'm
So,
not,
yeah.
if you're gonna have to
Alternates.
redo the plan anyway, it doesn't seem like it's that much work to
correct,
bid tabulate two
yes,
projects. It
Yeah.
just takes maybe an extra hour on your part
Yes,
there,
yep.
other than you have to redesign this, so.
Yeah.
That seems to be an idea, cause then they can come back and they can see how much it is with this.
and then you would
extra
also
work.
get the actual prices for
Right,
their portion of the work, you know
Right.
exactly what that is.
right. And then they can have some time to, so this way it gets out to bid.
Yep.
And they have some time to consider, you've done all this work already,
Absolutely, yep,
get alternative bids and then come back and do the bid opening and then they can award the project if they wanna go forward. Right? Does that make sense?
absolutely, yep.
You
When-
following me?
When you're doing this, when you were doing this,
Yeah.
all this ditch work and stuff, weren't you changing the grade a little bit or not too for the?
We
their
were,
culvert?
yeah,
Change the
we're
angle.
changing the grade based
for
on
their
the culvert,
culvert.
so
Yeah.
you're,
If she wants to keep her culvert there, then we're changing the grade and stuff in there. It's gonna affect their culvert too.
So that would have to be the A and B, right? You're gonna bid out two different ways, right?
yeah, you two have two different,
One with those
You'd have
guys
two
with the
different ditch
culvert, and the other
grades.
one without the
Yes.
culvert, just the grade.
yep, alternate A at this elevation, alternate B
What
at
it
this
costs and what
elevation.
it would cost.
Yeah.
Then you can decide if that's how much you wanna put in or what. If you don't wanna do anything, then we just won't do it. We'll do it just there on.
Right.
Do that one. Make more.
Yeah, I mean, I would set this out for bid and send the date, do you have the dates by which? So
Yes,
I think they're on the top, so I
Yeah.
would have somebody make a motion to go out to bids for the Kim Circle project with as designed and presented tonight, with an alternate B to omit the
culvert replacement.
culvert replacement for the dean. That's, then I think that makes sense.
I still move that we do what Lisa just
Yeah.
went through.
I'll
Open for
second.
bids.
Yeah, I got a motion and a second.
Yep.
Any
Do
more
what she said.
discussion?
Okay, so that's to get bids on this here,
Yep.
Yeah.
The Kim Circle project on these
to get the
dates.
bids for what we have here, and then once we have these bids.
And an alternate,
Two alternates.
So you still have to provide the alternate.
Yeah, but he'll
well,
just do it.
it'll be part of the, yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
and
and
then
an
he'll bring it
alternate
back.
to remove the culvert, so
So
it'll just
it's-
be part of the bid package.
The board makes a motion to put out bids on July 21, 2026. As set forth in the project timeline. For the Kim Circle project as designed and presented tonight, and with an alternative bid to omit the Dean culverts.
Because if we don't wanna pay for the culvert, then you just skip it and go to
Yep.
the next one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't wanna pay.
We'll
for
just
the
go
culvert.
from that side on.
But then they know, and who knows, maybe it comes back and it's only.
Well, cause when he called me and said it was 10 grand, I was like, I was on my way to the doctor's appointment about stopping.
Right, and that's an
Are you
estimate,
kidding?
so why don't we just find out, since it's not gonna cost any more to find out exactly what it'd be. And
But you
maybe-
were changing it in for the, now we won't change it in for,
Well, potentially, right, we're doing,
no, we won't.
we're doing alternate bids,
Right,
so
but
then,
it was a culvert, so it'd still be straight across their driveway. Before it was gonna be
Moved in
reset,
about 3 foot, yep.
yeah, reset in and curved up and sloped and re-sloped out.
right, but that's as designed, and the alternate bid is
Leave
to
it
not
Leave it
have
as it
that.
is.
So we're gonna get both bids back, and then you'll know the exact cost, and then you can decide you wanna do either project, and you can visit with them about, well, to do it the way it's designed tonight, wasn't gonna be $10,000, it's gonna be $15,000, or it's going to be $5,000, but you'll have the bid, it's not costing us any more to do the bid. So then you can come back and you can have that discussion.
Okay, you get that down, Brenda?
I think Brenda knows what she's doing.
I got it down and
Lisa,
Lisa will make corrections.
Okay.
Get another gold
Any
star.
more
But I-
discussion on the motion?
And so it looks like bids are due by August 11th then?
August 11th, so
So
we'll
advertise
open
for
bid.
bids, yeah.
Yeah, we'll open bids earlier in the day, such that we can have a recommendation back to you guys on that for your meeting that evening.
and I don't mind you getting to them, when you open it
So
up.
that they have an opportunity.
Yeah, then
to
you'll
review
have
this.
it, and you
Yeah.
won't have to see it right at 7:30.
Okay, all in favor of the motion? Aye,
Alright,
opposed? Motion carried. All right, move on.
And you're
to-
gonna open the bids up at your office, right?
Our office, I don't remember what time Ryan set, but I'll let you know exactly what time that is. We'll follow up with some follow-on. So, you bet.
Okay, new business, court set. We don't have anything on that, do we?
Well, I have an update on traffic on Quartzsite from last week. Traffic counts are 300 to 400 cars a day, which is 150, 175 more than it was in the old days. But still less than the 700 that it was when everybody was driving through there. The average 85% of the people are driving 28 miles an hour, so the speed is, within the range. I guess it's maybe a touch high, but because the speed limit's 25, but so that seems to be holding that 350 to 400 cars as far as, and then I might add that 41st Street is 50, 75 cars more than the old way back. Which, as I was telling him, looking out my front window, that extra 50 cars has to be pickups with logos on the side, trailers, backhoes, dump trucks. And you guys were out and just did a wonderful job of doing that road, and it's already starting to get washboard again. And I don't know what the answer is. There isn't an answer, I suppose. But they found that as a shortcut. So anyway, that's the update. And then we moved the sign.
Today we moved the sign from Split, the other sign, not the one on Quartzsite, the one on Split Rock, Boulevard. And we moved that over to, Arrowhead, by Arrowhead Park there,
Yeah,
but
Riverview, Riverboat.
Riverville,
Yeah.
Riverville 26, whatever you wanna call it, cause it's on, by where Bonnie Buffy's one row, by our map, it says it's, River Bluff, but the other one is, by Google, it's 26th Street, so. So right in there, we moved it today.
Okay, anything else on court set? Move on to Stokes.
I haven't heard from the people, so I don't know.
Haven't heard nothing.
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on to East Maple. From Rice Street East, North Oak View Place.
Haven't heard from them either.
Vacate, nothing there. Collis Place, I think he's there.
Yeah,
I heard from him. Kevin, do you have that to pop up on the map or not?
Yeah, I can put it up on the map and stuff in there.
So there was a request that I received by those that live on Calise Place to accept the road in the township. When the meeting was last week, we didn't have enough time to publish, so I said, why don't you come in and just find out if they're willing to accept the road? So that's the road. They would need to petition to have you accept the road. You have to decide if you wanna accept the road, because then you would have to have the responsibility of maintaining the road. And you also probably need to figure out the turnaround down at the end. Is there room to even turn around?
Yeah,
there?
there's here, it's right in here.
Okay.
It's
Would
more kind of, it's called more like a hammerhead and stuff in there. This
Would
is
we
where
need
the,
an easement, or is that all within the right of way?
yeah, it's all in the right of way.
Okay,
So,
so sometimes folks, sometimes public entities don't wanna go where they can't get out. So you'd have to know that if you're gonna accept the road, you got a grader going down, has to turn around for snow and gravel and go back out. So that would be, number one, is before we do the publication and all that stuff, is that something you're willing to consider? Doing, and then I suppose you would probably add it to the front footage assessment for gravel roads, potentially. And, we were looking at Stokes and wanting to look to see how much money in road work needed to be done. Right, and we were saying, well, if we're gonna accept that road, we think you needed $20,000 in your kitty, because it's a paved road and this is condition, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what the condition is of that road and if it needs a bunch of gravel or not, so we certainly can publish for the public hearing to have you accept it as a road, but somebody before the public hearing should go take a look at that road, see if you think you wanna accept it, if there's work that has to be done, so those types of things to think about, so.
so we have a copy of the specs that we have to, that we can put everyone through.
What's that put in
As
what?
far as the width of the road and far as,
It's within the width, it's, the 66 foot right away. I do have the plat here.
Well, it's a
That's what I
platted right
mean.
of way, but I think he's asking about who put the road in, when did it go in, how wide is it, what's the
Well, that's
compactor,
what-
all of that kind of
I
stuff.
mean, I don't wanna get to the point where we're.
It's 66 foot right away.
Yeah.
66 foot, in there. The road is right at 29, there's a lot of grass and stuff growing up there. Like I said, it needs to be graded, hasn't been, it hasn't been graded very much, but in there, right down here, when they did 6 Mile, I had an argument with the lawyers and stuff that were in there that they said this was a right of way and stuff in there, blah, blah, blah. But they put in this culvert down here. So there is a culvert down here, right down here, that the county put in when they did 6 Mile, and they did the same thing on 6 Mile as they did down here on Maple. When they did that Maple, where we go, right in here, they went in there with the pavement all the way in there. They did the same thing, and the same thing happened here that happened down there in Maple, that broke up, is breaking up a little bit in there. We put gravel on there, and they're right in here, there's some, what they put pavement, some of that old pavement and stuff in there, and that's in there. Like, it's been there for a long time, it could be ripped up. When I was talking to Eric Postma, he says, oh, that's no problem, that it would be, just take the grader with the front deal ripper and just rip it right up, rip it up. He says that isn't a big deal. I asked Eric also about the end, because we have, for the mailman, we put down in the bottom here. The call it more, when we did it, when I had it platted. See, when I originally got the road, it was platted with my land. And so I went there, did the public hearings, did all this stuff and put it in as a roadway. Put it in a roadway, and we put this here and we kind of call it like a hammerhead that goes in there and stuff in there. You know, and his comment back was, well, you shouldn't have a problem with it. It's more of a turnaround than what Iggy's got on his. So we was kind of going back and, you know, in there. So trucks come in there, turn around and stuff in there. That's where that's all gravel and stuff in there. Down here at the edge of the right of way, I do have some pavement, pavement stuff in there. You wouldn't have to maybe accept it up to the, you know, right up the end, the last 20 feet, you know, there. But I really would, if we're gonna do it, I would want to pay for my front footage. You know, I'd really rather see us accept the whole road than me pay the whole front footage versus,
When you got your right of way through there, your 66-foot right of way,
yep, 60 foot right.
where's the middle of it? I mean, is it from that ditch on the south side?
Well,
Or does it go further to the north to get to 66? You know what
no,
I'm saying? Where's the middle of the road, so you got each side?
It's pretty close to the middle of the road. The only place that you can see where it goes down and it goes to the one side is right there. The red going down here, the 66 is right in the middle. I mean, the
That's what I want.
middle of the road is middle of the road.
It'll have to be,
But right when we get down to where that turn, where I said we made that kind of hammerhead, the road moved over a little bit. So like you can tell it from right here, you can see it starting to angle toward my place and stuff in there. And we talked about that, you know, ripping this up and making a little bit more of a cul-de-sac. When we talked about it with the buses go down and stuff, they won't go down it if it's a cul-de-sac anymore. The school buses won't. You know, the FedEx and all those and stuff, they come down there and they turn around and stuff in there and there's no issue, but there's nothing that a bus side in there. We're talking to planning and zoning about what else I have to do if it's to make it a roadway. A roadway, they said it's considered a road right away. When I originally got it, it was with my other land. Hockey owned it. Hockey tried to give it to the county, being the sheriff and stuff in there. Signed the road there, that's a right of way, but it was actually part of personal property. You understand, it was part of my land, so then I had to basically replat it, which I got here, replatted it as a road right of way. And so when we was arguing with the county about it, is I don't pay taxes on that or anything on that portion. Because I was for a while when
On what portion?
the road,
The whole road or just?
the whole road. I don't pay taxes, and that's what the county says, it's a right of way, so they put the culvert in there. But when I actually had them try to come back in there and replace that pavement that broke up, just like it did over there in 6 Mile, then they were arguing, well, no, it's, you know, it's really yeah, in there, but, yeah. So I've been told many different things on it, but, in there. I did have I talked to all my neighbors, I have a petition signed to all my neighbors and stuff in there. You know, technically I've been doing all the maintenance on it and stuff in there. I sprayed the trees on which on is on Canoctimus's side there, that all those little buffalo berries and stuff in there. You know, in there, so there isn't very many trees in there, except there is one tree I've just kind of left right there, but I can.
So, I mean, this isn't the time for the public hearing, but what I wanted to raise to the supervisors is, we can set it for a public hearing. And you guys just need to make sure that you understand where it is, how wide the road is,
Condition.
the condition of the road, how far you're gonna go. You're gonna go to the pavement, or you're gonna go to just the gravel. So those types of things, we don't have, we didn't have time to set it for a public hearing for tonight. So I put it on there to tee it up, to let you know, this is the request. Those are the things that, you know, you need to think about and find out about, so that we treat, you know, this road like other roads. If we need some money from these property owners, if you're gonna accept it, because right now it's not an accepted township road. So you can accept it, but we gotta have a public hearing on it. So,
Do that next month.
yeah, I can get it published.
You know what the front footage will be and
Well, yes, I do know the front footage and stuff, but I would run, because of my, there, I would run somebody else, like with Brenda, to verify it with me, but I do have all that and stuff in there. You know, we talked about it, we haven't done dust control at all until this year. We did a little bit, Eric Postma did on the end of his road, and then when he did his, I did on my side to try it and stuff in there. The road looks pretty good, except for right down there where they put that culvert and they ripped it, you know, when they ripped that culvert up and stuff in there, and they put the water line, you know, through there. Otherwise, you know, I actually put some of that LG Everest gravel on there, you know, and it was slimy, and then so I ended up putting, whatever it is, what's it called, that stuff from the quarry from Del Rapids over top of that and packed in there, and then with that dust control, it's actually really hard right now. But we don't get very much traffic, and actually we don't get very much snow on there. The north trees and stuff in there, though the ditches are pretty steep, as you know, on the south side. So the only time I really get snow is if those ditches fill up, which hardly ever, because it just blows past it. But
So I don't know if you want somebody to go out and look at the road, or if you guys think you can go look at the road, if you wanna get documents or not, but that's just, those are the things you need to do. So,
we'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
sometimes we've had Eric Willitson look at roads, but I probably makes sense for you to go look at it first and see what you think, and do whatever documents you think you need.
You know, we can go look at the road.
Alright,
So that's what that one is.
so would we try to put it to a public hearing on next month?
Next
or-
one, yep, I gotta get it published, and I gotta, yep.
Okay, elected officers update. Anything, Todd?
just, we talked about getting some letters out to some homeowners with the things going on in the right of ways. Have we got that far, Lisa?
I haven't gotten it,
You haven't gotten the addresses?
you were supposed to get the addresses to me.
Well, I was talking with Rich, did you have those, Kevin?
When,
Well-
the last meeting we had, you looking for the address for the house in the corner of Maple and
I sent her, it's in a picture of the trees, but
no boxing
I sent a picture of the trees that were in the right of way, but I didn't.
trees and then the track, the racetrack and the ditch.
Yeah, that one there, I can look it up here real quick, but that one's,
Yeah, I don't have, I didn't get that text
Yeah, I-
or email, I should say,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
talked
have
to
any
Rich and I
emails on that.
thought we had them, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
quit.
Nope, the only emails I've gotten from Kevin are on the Khalees place, so I don't have an address, that information,
Okay,
so it's hard to write
We'll
a
get
letter.
it to you.
I got it.
Okay.
One other one that dawned on me that he hasn't come back since we asked about this insurance policy is Smith Bowers. Last time he was here, he said he had a insurance policy to show their coverage on the post that he's put in the right of way down there. And he's never been back. Is my memory okay on that, you guys?
So we'll sit,
So
discuss.
anyway, I guess we should send him a letter as well.
He was putting a post in a.
He's put in steel post down by the road closure in the right of way. And he left with the idea he was gonna come back with an insurance policy to show that he had coverage. He's never been back.
I'm putting on my calendar right now to
Thank you.
send him a letter.
I just thought we better add that address to it if we're gonna do this.
Okay, the racetrack guy is 7710 East Maple.
Okay, wait. Okay, 77,
7710 East Maple.
and what's the name?
Oh, I gotta look it up. I'll look it up. I'll go to a different place to look it up.
Okay, well, he can get that to me, and he has trees in the right of way? That's just
Yeah,
anything else in the right?
yeah, do a nice job of planting trees there.
Okay,
Beautiful job.
Yeah, just spaced out beautifully. That's not missed.
okay, so keep going, and he'll find it for me while you guys finish up.
I don't have anything else.
See anything you do with?
No, I don't have any.
And Mrs. Dolly called me on some thistles in the private property. So I gotta call the county weed board and see what they can do. It's too late, now to spray them. They already had it out. Canadian thistles, right? It's not just weeds, they are, right? Then we have that, on East 41st Street where the culvert, they, did their landscaping. I don't think they ever got sent a letter either.
I don't know what you're talking, are you wanting me to send a letter to somebody?
They put rock on the end of it,
They put
where the
rock-
culvert is, so if the car goes off the road,
It's about 2 foot high.
Yeah.
Instead of, angled.
Now, there's a number of driveways right on East 41st Street there that have
Yeah.
concrete blocks and driveway around the culverts, and there are 3, 4 of them.
Well, why doesn't somebody go out there and then get those addresses and names to me and the description of what it is they've done, so we get all those letters out at the same time too?
Okay.
I am sending the letters a week from today, because I'm leaving tomorrow, and back till really late Monday, so get those to me, I will send letters out.
Rich, you got update on,
well, if anybody's worried about Maple, they got another guy coming in, we got 2 guys, one to run the flusher, one to run the blade like we did over on 41st. Unless we get some rain, but we ain't getting any rain, so. It takes, for that 41st, they dump like 5 loads of water on that thing to get it pliable, cause we're so dry. And it takes, just anybody wants to know it takes moisture to make dust control work and hold the road. So,
looks good.
but anyway, that's about all I got.
Okay. Do you have any more, Kevin?
Did you guys, I sent you an email, was you guys giving me the breakout for the chemical? For the, since we're doing half and partials and all this type of stuff? Did you
He's
see
got-
the email?
He's got it all. He's got it all, and want me to come over to your place with him and go through it, we can, or what would you like?
I'd like to, just give me the figures of what you want to charge back to each one,
Okay,
yeah. In there.
we'll give you the developments that went half rate, and we'll give you the ones that, well, the whole rate, as long as it's been done, you know what you gotta charge there.
Yeah. Well, you have, it has it on that sheet, that sheet stuff in there, so. In there, but to try to figure it out. So,
But see, on the section lines, we don't worry about that,
no.
we gotta pay for it anyway,
Yep, so you have to deduct
so it's
all
just
that out.
developments then.
It's developments, I just wanna know how much you wanna charge, you plan on charging back to.
Oh. You guys work on that?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. RJ, got anything?
Yep,
No, oh,
okay, there's a, I talked to Dick about this a month ago, so at 48290, that's east of Dick Funky up the hill where his son Joe lives. there's a tree about 1.5 feet from Joe's mailbox that's growing out into the road. That tree's gotta go.
Okay.
And I told Dick about it, and Dick's like, yeah, I'm with you. So then Dick talked to his son Joe, and Joe said, well, that's the township's deal. They take care of the trees in the right of way. So
We'll get it.
whatever, enough said. But that tree, enough, that's all I got, except for, are you still working on a
Boom mower?
mower? When do you think that might show up?
I don't know. I've called them. They haven't called me back.
Can you, so let's go another place. Can you trade your mower that you got for a mower that will do both?
According to Hannington.
Well, you gotta have the oil for a boom.
Yep.
That's a whole nother oil tank on there,
Yep,
and it reaches out. So there's a lot of blind spots in that too, so I'd love to find a used one. And that way you're not out there mowing with that boom mower hanging on the side. Anytime you got blind spots, you got possibility of accidents. So, but yeah, I'll keep writing on it.
well, I remind you that every 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And, but the reality is, as you guys well know, when you get these bills for tree removal to the tune of 80 to 150,000 every couple of years, that's where my comments come from. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
If we would address these trees when they're 3 foot tall, and it'll scare you. It'll scare you whether you rent or buy a mower with boom on. So that's all I got.
Okay. Motion to pay bills. Total bill for this month is $174,790.28.
That's with dust abatement.
You know, that was $136,054.55. We have a motion to pay bills,
And motion to pay bills is presented.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, executive session, no? Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
so moved.
I'm close.
Second.
And I.
Adjourned.
I got the one.
Next meeting, August 11th, 7:30.
By the way.